So you'll start with both legs nice and straight. They're about hip distance apart. Bend that right knee outward just a little bit, so your right heel is right down by that left ankle. Flex the feet, so your toes are pulling back. Gently push left leg down and rotate it inward. Arms out front, just like Spider-Man. So shoulders stay down, push the arms forward, and now sit tall through the spine. Legs are pushing down and trying to pull apart. You start to lean forward as you get taller. And once the spine is in front of the hips, rotate over that straight leg. Continue to get tall. Breathe into it. And you keep working. So again, the toes are flexing. That left leg is rotated in. Arms, shoulders are pushing forward. Chest is lifting. You're lengthening that spine. Make sure you maintain a double chin. All right, you want that spine to be nice and flat. Breathe into it. Push harder with that right arm and that left leg. Give me 2 more deep breaths as you continue to get tall and lean forward. 1 more deep breath. And then you slowly relax the arms, the spine, then the legs. All right, we're gonna switch it up. So right leg stays straight. Bend that left knee gently. 1 fist width between that left heel and that right ankle, okay? Pull the toes back. Sit tall, legs gently push down. Rotate right leg inward. So you get internal rotation at the leg and the hip. Again, toes pull back, arms out front. So you're spreading the fingers, pulling back, shoulders down. Lift the spine, push the shoulders forward, lean forward with those shoulders, but maintain that flat back. Stay tall, rotate over that straight leg, push harder with the left arm and the right leg. Continue to grow tall as you're breathing and leaning into it. Again, you want your back nice and flat. Legs are pushing down and trying to slide away from each other. Right leg is turned in. You work into this for a good 30, 45 seconds. If you want to go a little bit longer, go for it. Continue to get tall, lift the chest, double chin, lean forward more. Give me 2 more deep breaths here. Get taller through that spine. Sounds like your spine's growing out of the floor. Last deep breath. And as you exhale, release the arms, the spine, the legs, and unrotate. Here's an exercise for the internal oblique. Okay, we're going to do the left side first. So doing the left side means your left leg is going to stay straight, and then your right foot goes to the outside of that left knee on the ground. If you can't get your foot to the outside of the knee on the ground, just keep it on the inside. But you want to try to get it over to the outside. All right, so right hand's going to grab onto that right knee. So the goal is going to be lengthening and working this left side. Okay, so you want to think about that length. Left leg straight, but turn it in. So that means your toes and your knee turn into the right, internal rotation. All right, so you start to sit tall. The left arm starts out front here. So what you want to feel this left leg and left hip kind of rotating or pushing forward as the right hip kind of rotates back. That creates length, it creates tension. So your head's going to turn to the right shoulder. And then that left arm goes up and back. As it goes up and back, again, that left leg is driving to the front. So left leg forward, left arm up and back. And you're lifting that left side and you're bending it just a little bit to the right. So your spine's bending right to create this length between the left hip and left rib cage. Now the angle of that left arm kind of depends on you. So kind of create different angles, see what's tighter. Wherever you find that tight angle, that's where you work. So flex the left foot, turn left leg in, push the left leg forward, lift left shoulder, left rib cage up and back. Now, if that left shoulder hurts, you can put the hand on the shoulder. It's all about creating distance throughout the oblique, the rib cage, and the hip area. You don't always have to have that arm straight up. It creates more tension. The end goal is this. If you need to modify, put the hand down. Breathe into it. Give me 2 more deep breaths. Then after that second deep breath, slowly bring the left arm forward, down, and then ease out of it slowly. Now we're going to switch sides. All right, I'm going to stay at the same angle just so you can kind of see it from a different point of view. So this is going to be the right side. All right, the right rib cage between the hip, working that. So right leg is straight, left foot to the outside of that right knee on the ground. If you can't get it there, it's on the inside, okay? Understand your limitations. So left hand holds that left knee. Right leg is straight, but flex the foot. So that means the toes pull back, and then rotate right knee into the left, so internal rotation. Get tall, right arm is out front. So your head turns down towards that left shoulder. So this one, the right leg is pushing forward, pulling that right hip forward as the left hip is kind of pushing back. Keep the head turned down to that left. Right arm goes up and back. You lift your spine, you bend a little bit to the left. So the spine's bending left, right arm and shoulder are lifting up and back. Right leg's pushing forward and you're breathing into it. You want to think of also that right rib cage kind of pushing out to the right and create more tension, more length. Breathe deep in through the nose, create that tension, that expansion throughout the torso. Exhale through the mouth. Push that right leg forward more. Lift that right chest up and back. Again, if you have shoulder issues, maybe keep that hand on the shoulder or even on the chest, whatever is better, but you're still gonna lift that rib cage up and back. Lift that chest, rotate that right chest back, push right leg forward. Breathing into it. Let's go 2 more deep breaths. Get more tension, 1 more deep breath. Then as you exhale, slowly bring right arm forward and down. And slowly ease out of it. And then you can move on. This series is for the serratus muscle, which is a pretty deep muscle that it connects to the ribs, up into the shoulders, or kind of to the front and back of the rib cage. So it's a pretty deep kind of stabilizer muscle. And there's going to be 3 different positions for it. So you want to get down on your hands and knees in a 4-point position. So your knees and hands want to be just a little wider than shoulder width. All right, and right now the hands are directly underneath the shoulders or the chest, okay? Now, the biggest thing here, your hand position. If you're too close, you're not gonna be able to drop that torso down. So you go a little wider to be able to drop that torso down. So it's almost like the shoulders and shoulder blades are pulling together behind you on the backside. You need to have that happen. If you can't with your hand position, go a little bit wider. That way you can drop down, okay? So the sternum, torso drops down below the shoulders. You wanna be able to do that, all right? So that's a must. So again, if you can't drop down, your hands are too close, go a little wider. All right, so first position, hands, fingers pointing straight ahead, hands and knees just a little wider than shoulder width, knees under the hips, hands under the shoulders. So you wanna be able to flatten out that lower back. So you don't wanna be arching, don't sink into the back. Tuck the tailbone, have a double chin, so it's almost like you're looking down your shirt. So the back of the neck is nice and flat. Arms stay as straight as possible. Like I said earlier, it's about your shoulders kind of squeezing together in the backside. So drop your torso down, squeeze those shoulder blades, maintain a double chin. So keep arms straight. The creases of the elbows are trying to point forward in front of you. All right, so it's almost like your hands are kind of screwing into the ground. All right, so you got the double chin. You're dropping your chest down below the shoulders. Now, make sure that lower back stays flat. That's going to be hard. Lower back flat and keeping the chest pushing down to the ground. All right, so once you're in that position, maybe have a foam roller or a stick on your spine to make sure that you're maintaining that flat back. Arms are straight. My chest is dropping down. My butt's pushing back, my head's pushing forward, you're lengthening your spine. Now you breathe deep into that upper chest, in through your nose, out through the mouth. And keep breathing. Shoulder blades pull together more. My arms are trying to push forward, my butt's pushing back. I'm breathing deep into that upper chest, upper back. Let's go 2 more deep breaths. Tuck the tailbone, right? Flatten out that lower back, lengthen the spine. Go 1 more deep breath. Then as you exhale, ease out of it slowly. Release that tension. If you want to go a little bit longer, go for it. Hit pause because we're going to do the next one. If you want to stay in that last one, hit pause. So the next one, everything stays the same except for the hands. The hands change positions for all 3 of them. So the next one, we're going to go hands a little further forward, so underneath your eyes. So they're not underneath your chest, they're underneath your eyes. Okay? So 4-point stance. In this one still, the fingers are still pointing straight ahead. Fingers a little, or hands and knees a little wider than shoulder width. That way you can drop down. But make sure you're not leaning forward. So your knees are still underneath the hips. It's just the arms are a little further out in front of you. Tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, flatten out that lower back, arms straight, creases of elbows pushing forward. So it's like you're screwing the hands into the ground. Now maintain the back flat, start to drop the chest down. As the chest drops down, the shoulder blades kind of squeeze together. Shoulder blades are still pulling down toward the butt, lower back stays flat. And it's almost like your hands are trying to push your body back as the head's pushing forward. Keep chest down, keep arms straight, and then breathe deep. Breathe deep into that upper chest, upper back. Make sure lower back is still flat. Again, if you want a stick or some kind of foam roller on your back, do it. Again, shoulders pulling together, you got the double chin. Feel the hands kind of pushing forward to help lengthen the spine. Tuck in your chin, lengthen the neck. Let's go 2 more deep breaths here. Drop the chest, tuck the tailbone. 1 more deep breath into your nose. And then gently out through the mouth as you relax. Ease out of it. If you want to stay in it longer, keep working, but typically 30-45 seconds of strong work is good enough. Next position, number 3. So the hands, instead of out front more, they're kind of back towards your knees. So you start, and the fingers are going to be rotated out the side. So start in a 4-point stance. So you're here, 4-point stance. Rotate the fingers out to the side. So your fingers kind of go into external rotation. And then think of your hands kind of coming underneath your belly button. This one, your balance is going to be tested a lot because you don't want to be leaning back. You still want the butt kind of, or the knees underneath the hips. And again, everything else is the same, just different hand position, different finger position. The crease of the elbows are kind of pushing forward. I'm still feeling like the hands are screwing down into the ground. Double chin, flatten the lower back out. Arms stay straight. Now drop that chest down. Feel the shoulder blades kind of pulling together in the back. Tuck that tailbone more, right? Flatten out that lower spine. And now we start to work. So feel like the hands are kind of pushing back towards your knees. Tuck the tailbone, lengthen the neck. Drop the chest more if you can, keeping the arms straight, and breathe in through your nose. Then out through the mouth. Good, shoulder blades pull together, flatten that lower back. Again, if you want a stick or a foam roller on that spine, go for it. That might help you stay in better alignment. Again, if you can't drop below your shoulders with your chest, the hands need to be a little wider. You're still working hard, you're still breathing. Arms are straight. Give me 2 more deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth, and then slowly, gently ease out of that. All right, this is a good one to help kind of open up the shoulders. I had a couple pops and cracks kind of on my right side. That's my tighter side, so felt good to open that stuff up. Hopefully you felt the same. You're done that series. If you want to do it again, go for it. Then you can move on. Here's a strengthening exercise for your external oblique above your belly button. So it's a muscle that kind of runs this way across that rib cage, and it's above the oblique. So you're going to grab a seat. Feet are trying to stay down, so you don't let the feet come up. All right, if you can't go flat-footed, at least the heels are down. So I'm going to show you working my right side. So you take your left hand, cross it over to the right shoulder. Right arm is straight ahead with the palm up, okay? The goal is to roll back as far as you can without your feet coming up. So if you can go back and you can touch your shoulder blades, great. If not, do what you can. But as you come up, you're rotating to the left to get that right oblique to work. So you go back, and as you come up, rotate to the left. The goal is to feel this upper oblique working. All right, I'll show you with my left one. So left arm is straight ahead, right hand crosses the left shoulder. You roll back, and as you're coming up, rotate. So it's all one movement as you come up. Don't try to break it down. Think of that rib cage going towards that opposite knee as you come up. Perform your repetitions, and then you can move on. This strengthening exercise is for the internal oblique above the belly button. So it's a little deeper core muscle that sits up here around that rib cage. So you start by laying on your back. All right, feet stay flat, or at least the heels stay down. So whatever side you're working, that arm is straight. It's almost like you're going to be reaching towards that foot or past that leg. So I'll show you with my right side. So right arm is straight, left hand crosses the right shoulder. As you're rolling up, so it's not a big movement coming up, but you perform a side bend. So to work the right side, you're going to side bend to the right. So as you come up, you reach past that right leg to do the side bend. and go back down. Come up, side bend, reaching through that arm and shoulder. It's almost like that rib cage is trying to touch that leg. All right, I'll show you on the other side. So left arm is straight, so working the left side. Right hand crosses to that left shoulder. As I come up, I'm side bending that left rib cage towards that left leg. So I'm reaching that left arm. Reach through that left arm. All right, do your repetition, then you can move on. So here's a good series to help strengthen the upper back muscles. The goal is to move from your upper back and not just the arms. So you're gonna be face down. Take my mic off here. So you're face down. So your arms are gonna have 4 different positions. A Y position, a T position, a W position, and I like to call a U position. So we'll start with the Y position. So in the Y position, if you can, your chin is on the ground. Arms are to a Y position, thumbs are facing up towards the ceiling. You want to make sure your legs stay down the entire time. All right, so arms are pretty straight, unless you need to keep them slightly bent. You want to pull the shoulder blades together to lift the arms. And like I said, you want to work that upper back. Then you kind of squeeze that upper back together to lift the arms. Don't just lift those arms. So it's not a huge movement. The goal is to feel that upper back working, the muscles in between those shoulder blades. Do 20 to 30 reps here. And then you slowly bring the arms down. Then we move on to a T position. So arms are out to a T. Same kind of feeling, the upper back is gonna be working. This time the forehead can go down. If it's too much with the forehead down, you can turn the head one direction. Do half the reps with the head turned one direction, and then turn over to the other side. I'm just gonna show with my forehead down. So I squeeze my upper back to lift the arms. And then I move from my shoulder blades to pulse the arms up and down. You're going up and down, try not to move the arms horizontally, they're going vertical, up and down, up and down. Again, 20 to 30 reps here. After you do your reps, slowly bring the arms down. Now we go to a W position. So you bend your elbows. Again, forehead down, or you turn your head one way for half the reps, and then the other way for half the reps. I'm just gonna show with my forehead down, squeeze the upper back to lift the arms, and then you pulse that upper back to lift the arms up and down. Now, if the neck is starting to feel it, and if it feels better with the head up off the ground, do so. But again, you're trying to feel that upper back working. Again, 20 to 30 reps here. And then when you're done, you slowly bring the arms down, and we got one more position, arms to a U. So your palms are up towards the ceiling on this one. Now the hardest part in this one is making sure the shoulders stay back. They're gonna wanna go down towards the ground. So you pull the shoulders up towards the ceiling, and then you lengthen the arms towards your feet. In this one, you squeeze the upper back to lift the arms, and you try to squeeze the arms inward, and you bring them back down. Lift and squeeze in, and then back down. But it's, again, pulling the shoulders back, using the upper back muscles to move in this position. Because it's easy to kind of just lift the arms, but that could hurt your shoulders. So it's a shoulder squeeze up and in, up and in. Again, 20 to 30 reps. And then once you're done, slowly ease out of it, and then you can move on. Here's a strengthening exercise for all 3 of your hamstrings. All right, so they all work at different angles, so your feet and knees are gonna be in different positions each time. So you're gonna need a foam roller. You can have a little one or you can have a big one, doesn't matter to me. Just make sure that it rolls around. So you're gonna lay on your back. First position, feet and knees are parallel. They're about hip to shoulder width. Bottoms of your feet are on the roller. Arms are down by your side. And all you do is you lift the hips up into a little bit of extension, and you do little hamstring curls by pulling the roller toward your butt and then pushing it away. Pull it in, pull it away. The entire time your butt is staying up, it's staying still. You're a nice straight line from knees to the shoulders, okay? Do the repetitions in that angle, come on down. We're gonna change the angle. So now feet together, but your feet stay flat. All right, the ankles don't roll out, feet stay flat, but the knees are pressing open. So it's like the ankles are trying to squeeze in, but the knees are pushing open. Lift the butt back up, And again, you're pulling the roller in and out. This should feel a little different than the first position. Do your repetitions, come on down. And then the last position, if you have a small roller, your feet are to the very edge and your knees stay together. If you have a bigger roller, your feet can be about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider. And again, feet stay flat. So again, knees are staying together the entire time. Lift the butt up, keep the knees together, and then just move that roller in and out, keeping that butt lifted. Do your repetitions and then come on down. And happy hamstrings, they might be cramping a little bit. If they are, good, do more work, then you can move on.